My beloved child, a great transition is beginning in your life, and the place that has become familiar to you will no longer be the final destination of this journey. I want you to stop chasing the noise outside and listen to the change quietly taking place within you. For a long time, you have sensed that an old season is closing and that the things which once made you feel secure no longer give you the same sense of belonging. There are rooms you still enter, roads you still travel, and relationships you still maintain. Yet somewhere deep within, you already know that their appointed time is gradually coming to an end. This is not evidence that you are ungrateful or without direction. It is the call telling you that the time to rise has come. Because I did not create you to remain forever within boundaries that have become too narrow for your growth. I have watched you attempt to adapt to a place where you no longer fit. Many times, you reminded yourself to be patient, to try a little harder, and to be content with what you had. Gratitude is beautiful, but being grateful does not mean you must remain forever in a season that has already ended. A nest that once protected a young bird cannot become a prison for its wings after they have grown strong enough to fly. In the same way, what once served as your shelter may have already fulfilled its purpose. You do not need to deny the value of the former journey in order to begin a new one. Honor the lessons you received. Appreciate those who once walked beside you, and then allow yourself to move forward without carrying guilt. I am not calling you to leave in anger. I am leading you forward with clarity. This transition does not necessarily involve only a change of physical location. Some movements begin in the way you think, the way you see yourself, and the way you permit others to treat you. Your former address may have been a version of yourself that lived under fear and continually sought permission from others to exist as you truly are. It may have been the habit of making your dreams smaller so that no one would feel uncomfortable, a dependence upon approval, or a relationship in which you constantly had to prove that you deserved to be loved. I am leading you out of those places. You cannot carry the entire structure of the past into your new future, because some things that once helped you survive will prevent you from growing if you continue holding them. Therefore, allow me to show you what should be carried forward and what must be laid down. I am leading you through many layers of transition, and each layer requires a different form of release. First, you will leave behind the habit of seeing yourself through former failures. Your mistakes taught you, but they have no authority to become your name. Next, you will step away from relationships that survive only through one-sided sacrifice. You were not created to give continually until you are empty, merely because you fear that others will leave. Then you will be led out of rooms where your voice is dismissed, and environments that acknowledge you only when they need your abilities, but do not respect who you are. Every departure may bring sorrow, but sorrow is not proof that you have made the wrong decision. Sometimes the heart hurts because it is separating from what is familiar, not because what is familiar still belongs in the future. After those first steps, I will move you out of the state of delay that has kept you standing outside your own door. You have been waiting for a perfect sign, a moment without risk, or the approval of everyone around you. But growth does not begin when everything becomes certain. It begins when you possess enough courage to walk with the light you have already received. I am not asking you to see the entire road. I only ask you to remain faithful to the next step. Perhaps that step is speaking a truth that has been hidden for too long, ending an unhealthy commitment, submitting an application, beginning new work, changing your way of living, or permitting yourself to rest after years of doing nothing but endure. Great changes are often concealed within small actions carried out with consistency. You will also be moved away from the need to explain everything to everyone. Not everyone will understand why you are changing, and not everyone will be willing to see you grow beyond the role they became accustomed to seeing you fulfill. Some may call your independence distance, your boundaries coldness, or your courage impulsiveness. Do not allow false labels to pull you back into the place I am leading you to leave. You do not need to argue for permission to grow. Allow your new life to answer every doubt. As your peace increases, your strength is restored, and you begin living more faithfully according to what you believe. The results themselves will testify that the step was necessary. During this transition, you may feel as though many things are being disturbed at once. Former habits no longer comfort you. Certain relationships begin to change, and plans that once appeared certain suddenly lose their attraction. Do not immediately assume that everything is falling apart. Sometimes a room must be emptied before new things can be brought inside. Sometimes a road must be blocked so that you do not continue traveling deeper into a place that was never meant for you. Temporary disorder does not mean you have been abandoned. It may be evidence that a new order is being established. Be patient with the process. Do not attempt to keep everything exactly the same while simultaneously asking for a different life. The new requires space, and that space can only appear when you are willing to release what has reached the end of its appointed season. I do not want you to interpret this transition as a promise of a life completely free from difficulty. A new dwelling place does not mean there will be no challenges, but that the challenges you face will be better aligned with your growth and purpose. You will no longer fight merely to be seen. You will learn how to build. You will no longer exhaust yourself protecting your heart from toxic environments. You will use that strength to nurture something good. You will no longer continually question whether you possess enough value. Instead, you will ask how to use the gifts entrusted to you wisely. This is the difference between living in survival mode and entering a life directed by purpose. Prepare yourself by bringing order to your inner world. Remove the bitter words you have kept as evidence against the past. Release the imaginary conversations in which you continually attempt to defeat someone who is no longer present. Forgiveness does not declare that wrongdoing never occurred. It ensures that you will not carry it into your new home. You also need to rearrange your priorities and decide what truly deserves your time. Attention and strength. Not every invitation is a door you should enter, and not every opportunity agrees with your direction. When the address changes, your choices must change as well. A person entering a new season cannot continue living according to habits that kept them trapped in the old one. I know uncertainty may cause you to cling more tightly to what is familiar, but remember that feeling safe does not always mean being at peace. Some things feel familiar only because you have endured them for too long. A cage may become familiar, but it remains a cage. I am not pushing you out of the old place so that you will fall into emptiness. I am expanding your life so that you can step into a capacity you were previously unable to carry. The abilities you quietly developed, the patience you learned, and the courage formed through hardship are all provisions for the place ahead. No part of your journey has been wasted. Even the years that appeared directionless taught you how to recognize the true direction. My beloved child, what I need from you is not a declaration spoken during an emotional moment, but agreement demonstrated through action. Agree by walking away from what you know has ended. Agree by refusing to return to doors that open just enough to awaken hope and then close violently before you. Agree by caring for your life, maintaining discipline, learning what must be learned, and preparing for greater responsibility. Heaven does not need you to prove your readiness through loud words. Readiness is seen in the way you live before anyone applauds, in the way you keep your heart pure when you are misunderstood, and in the way you continue moving forward even when results do not appear immediately. Therefore, do not be afraid when your sense of no longer belonging in the old place becomes stronger. It may be evidence that your inward feet have already begun walking before your outward circumstances have changed. Remain calm, observe, and listen. Do not destroy everything during one impulsive moment. But neither should you use caution as an excuse to delay forever. I will guide you through increasing clarity, doors opening at the right time, and a deeper peace as you approach the direction that is right for you. The transition has begun, not to cause you to lose yourself, but to return you to the person I intended you to become. The former place taught you how to endure. The new place will teach you how to live fully. Carry wisdom, gratitude, and courage with you, but leave behind fear, self-condemnation, and attachments that no longer belong to your future. You are being led into a wider space where your voice is no longer restrained. Your abilities are used in the proper place, and peace is no longer a temporary visitor but becomes a home within you. You are being strengthened for a greater responsibility because what I am placing upon your life requires a foundation strong enough to remain steady before pressure, gossip, and unexpected winds. When I expand your influence, I must also send your roots deeper. When I increase your responsibility, I must make your inward world stronger, more orderly, and more mature. Therefore, do not misunderstand these recent days. I am not driving you toward exhaustion, nor am I placing a weight upon your shoulders merely to frighten you. I am rebuilding your inner structure, repairing the places that remain weak, closing the openings through which your energy was repeatedly lost, and teaching you how to stand even when no one is present to encourage you. Something great cannot be protected by a careless life, and a wide door cannot be entrusted to someone who is still easily drawn away from the path by every small voice nearby. You may be feeling an unusual urgency, as though something within you continually reminds you that you cannot continue living as before. At times, this feeling may confuse you because you cannot yet see everything that is coming. Yet you know very clearly that you are no longer permitted to delay. Discern carefully. Confusion causes you to run in many directions, while the prompting I place within you draws all your thoughts toward one point. Confusion exhausts you without producing fruit, while true guidance causes you to desire order, complete unfinished work, and abandon habits that no longer belong. What you are sensing is not meaningless noise. It is purpose awakening, an invitation to step out of stagnation and prepare for a season that requires your complete presence. For this reason, your tolerance for distraction has changed. Conversations that once helped you pass the time now leave you weary. Places where you once tried hard to fit in suddenly feel narrow. Certain relationships, interests, or habits may not be inherently wrong, yet they no longer agree with your new direction. Do not quickly conclude that you are becoming dry or distant. I am simply changing your inward desires so that you will no longer remain satisfied with what is pleasant but unproductive. Comfort no longer attracts you as it once did, because I am allowing you to experience the value of clarity. When a person understands where they are being called, they no longer desire to exchange precious time for things that provide only temporary relief. During this season, I am giving you the guidance you need, but you must receive it with awareness rather than impatience. Every instruction carries a promise, but that promise requires a response through action. You cannot ask for a new season while continuing to protect every habit of the former one. You cannot desire focus while allowing every voice to enter your mind. The first thing I want you to understand is that the season of scattered living has ended. I am narrowing your attention toward one central assignment, one responsibility that requires your faithfulness, disciplina, and full presence. This is not a call to do more and more. It is a reminder to stop doing what was never assigned to you. There were seasons when you attempted to hold everything at once because you feared that releasing something would cause you to miss an opportunity. You accepted too many responsibilities, listened to too many opinions, and tried to satisfy too many people. As a result, you were always busy, but rarely felt that you were truly moving forward. I am ending that cycle. From now on, you must learn to ask, not merely, "Am I capable of doing this?" but, "Does this belong to the work entrusted to me?" You possess the ability to do many things, but not everything you are capable of doing needs to be done by you. Maturity is found not only in knowing how to begin, but also in the ability to refuse what will dilute the strength reserved for your primary mission. Recent distractions have become heavier because they are no longer harmless to your future. What you tolerated in a previous season may become the cause of delay in the present one. An hour wasted before you knew your direction may have been merely an hour that passed. But after you have received a clear prompting, continued delay creates distance between you and what must be completed. I am not saying this so that you will live in fear or condemn yourself for former indiscipline. I am opening your eyes so that you will understand the value of time. Do not turn compassion toward yourself into an excuse to continue postponing. But neither should you turn discipline into cruelty. Make corrections calmly. Begin again with small steps, and remain faithful to what you already know. I am not asking you to maintain a false balance in which every person and every responsibility receives an equal portion of you. Certain seasons require clear priorities. If a farmer divides his time equally between a field ready for harvest and land that does not yet require attention, he may lose the harvest directly before him. In the same way, there is something in your life that presently requires special attention. You must recognize it, protect it, and stop negotiating with habits that continually pull you away. Obedience in this season will not always feel comfortable. At times, you will need to decline an attractive invitation, leave a conversation that does not build anything, or close a door others believe you should continue holding open. But genuine peace does not come from satisfying everyone. It comes from knowing that your feet are standing where I have directed you. You have received many lessons, abilities, and opportunities. So I am inviting you into a level of responsibility that corresponds with what has been entrusted to you. Increase is not merely the receiving of greater favor. It is also learning how to manage what has already been given. Greater influence requires more careful speech. Wider opportunities require more thorough preparation. As more people begin to look toward you, Your hidden choices become increasingly important. Do not allow this to frighten you, because I am not asking you to become perfect. I only want you to remain teachable, willing to acknowledge mistakes, humble in heart, and prepared to make continual adjustments. A trustworthy person is not someone who has never failed, but someone who refuses to make failure their dwelling place. In the time ahead, the uncertainty that once surrounded you will gradually disappear. You will begin to see what must be done with a clarity you have not known before. Perhaps it will come through an idea that continually returns, a responsibility you can no longer ignore, or a door that opens at the very moment you are ready. You do not need to run everywhere searching for signs, because when the time comes, recognition will not require force. It will carry weight, yet it will also bring peace. It will require you to step beyond what is familiar, but at the same time, you will know that you are moving in the right direction. Spend time in silence. Reduce unnecessary noise, and write down what is repeatedly brought to your attention. Clarity often appears when you stop asking everyone around you to speak on behalf of what I am teaching you directly. Therefore, my beloved child, do not view your present pressure as evidence that you are moving in the wrong direction. Often, pressure merely reveals what must be reinforced before you enter a wider space. Do not return to former comfort simply because growth requires change. I am moving you from a reactive life into an intentional one, from directionless busyness into focus that produces results. Bring order to your schedule. Protect your rest. Complete important work. And stop granting authority to voices that make you question what has already become clear. The season of being scattered has ended. Now, I am inviting you into unity of purpose, where every choice serves what you have been assigned. When you remain faithful to the one necessary thing before you, you will discover that great doors are not opened through haste, but through small days lived with focus, integrity, and perseverance. You are entering a process of 7 sacred transitions, and the first movements will touch the areas where you have carried the greatest pressure, provision, and the sense of belonging. I know you have lived too long with the habit of rationing every small thing, not only money, but also hope, time, and strength. You became accustomed to calculating what could be reduced, what had to be postponed, and which of your own needs must continue to wait. There were days when you worked without ceasing, yet still saw the distance between your income and responsibilities growing wider. There were nights when you looked at the numbers before you and wondered how much longer you could continue. Yet I want you to understand that lack is not your name, and hardship is not your permanent address. I am leading you out of a way of thinking that continually prepares for loss and into a life that knows how to receive, manage, and use what is good with wisdom. I saw every time you chose generosity, even when you did not possess abundance. I remember the moments when you helped someone in difficulty, while you also had many concerns of your own. When you shared a meal, offered encouragement, gave your time, or quietly carried another person's burden without seeking recognition. Not one sincere act has been forgotten. Yet do not view giving as an exchange that must immediately produce profit. What I am forming within you is greater than a simple calculation between what has been given and what will be received. I am creating within you a heart that is both generous and discerning, able to give without destroying itself, able to help others without permitting them to exploit kindness, and able to understand that lasting provision must be built through faith, disciplina, and responsible choices. The first transition begins when you no longer treat scarcity as your familiar home. In the past, you may have responded to every opportunity with the question, "What will happen if I lose everything?" Your mind often prepared for the worst, even while something good was approaching, because unexpected shortages had frightened you many times before. But now I am teaching you a new way to think. Abundance does not merely mean possessing a great amount. It means having enough to live peacefully, fulfill your responsibilities, care for those you love, and still possess the capacity to sow goodness into the lives of others. It is not about display or pursuing numbers in order to prove your worth. It is the condition in which fear of lack no longer controls every decision you make. Therefore, prepare for change through practical action. Examine the way you use your money, time, and abilities. Close the openings through which your labor is continually being lost. Release habits that consume without creating value, and become serious about opportunities that may develop into stable sources of income. I may open a door, but you must still walk through it with diligence and awareness. I may bring someone near to support you, but you must learn to recognize healthy advice. I may place an idea within your mind, but that idea must be nurtured through planning, knowledge, and perseverance. Do not merely wait for something unexpected to happen outside you while neglecting the abilities I have already planted within you. You may begin to notice small signs before the change becomes obvious. An ordinary conversation may open a new direction. An ability you once overlooked may suddenly become relevant. Or someone may recognize the value of your work and offer you an opportunity to move farther. Do not despise humble beginnings. Great rivers may begin from a very small spring. Receive every opportunity with gratitude, but also with discernment. Not every promise of money is a good door, and not every rapid path leads to sustainability. What I have prepared for you will not require you to sacrifice integrity, peace, or dignity, as your understanding of provision is renewed. The second transition will also begin. You will leave the house of rejection and enter a place where you are valued and welcomed. I know you have experienced too many moments of being pushed aside. Certain family members did not know how to support you. Friends appeared only when they needed something. And relationships caused you to believe you had to change completely in order to be loved. One closed door may cause temporary pain, but repeated rejection caused you to begin believing that the problem was within you. You gradually became accustomed to entering a room and immediately wondering who would dislike you, who would judge you, or what you needed to do to avoid being abandoned once again. Those experiences built more walls around you than you realized. You said that you needed no one, but deep within you still longed for someone who truly understood. You appeared strong, but sometimes that strength was merely a way to hide the fear that if you needed others, they would have the opportunity to disappoint you. I do not blame you for protecting yourself. Those walls helped you survive painful seasons, but they cannot become the architecture of your future. I am teaching you to distinguish boundaries from isolation. Boundaries protect your peace, while isolation prevents you from receiving even those who approach with sincere hearts. You have not been called to open the door to everyone, but neither must you lock the door against everyone because certain people once caused you pain. The acceptance I am leading you toward does not mean that everyone will like you. There will always be people who do not understand your journey. Choices. or calling, but you will no longer build your worth upon their agreement. You will be placed among people who do not require you to diminish your light in order to make them comfortable. People who can recognize your potential without becoming jealous. And people mature enough to repair misunderstandings instead of immediately walking away. You will discover that the sense of belonging does not come from standing in a crowded room. It comes from being with people who allow you to live truthfully, know how to listen, and are willing to grow beside you. To enter that place, you must also release the need to seek approval from those who have repeatedly shown that they are incapable of giving it. You have spent too much energy attempting to explain your worth to people who continue to view you through former prejudice. Certain doors closed, not because you were inadequate, but because the room behind them was too narrow for what I am developing within you. Stop standing before a place that does not welcome you and concluding that the whole world has rejected you. Turn away. Continue walking. And allow me to lead you into spaces where your presence is considered a gift rather than a burden. My beloved child, these two transitions are deeply connected. When you no longer live under fear of lack, you will stop clinging to relationships that offer only fragments of attention. When you understand that you are worthy of respect, you will no longer undervalue your abilities or accept unfair conditions merely because you fear losing an opportunity. Healthy provision and genuine belonging will work together to help you build a more stable life. I do not only want to give you more, I want you to become mature enough to manage what you receive. I do not only want to bring you into a new community, I want to heal the way you see yourself so that former wounds do not cause you to destroy something good. Continue forward without attempting to force the timing. Do not chase money in desperation. And do not chase people merely to escape loneliness. Perform well the work already in your hands. Remain open to new directions, and allow every change to prove itself through lasting results. I will not lead you from one form of confusion into another and call it a blessing. What I am building will bring order, clarity, and the capacity for lasting growth. You will recognize that you are no longer living at the former address, when your decisions no longer arise from panic, when you can give without fearing tomorrow, and when you enter relationships without constantly proving that you deserve to remain. Be at peace, because the address within your mind is being renewed before your outward circumstances completely change. And this is the first foundation of every good transition waiting before you.